lurks in the hearts of men. The shadow knows.
Hey everyone out there, how you doing? So tonight we're going to be talking about what may be considered to be a really taboo subject by a certain organization, but hopefully they don't pull the plug on it. We're going to be talking about what's happening in a lot of certain cities where certain groups are going hog wild and out of control.
Right, very blue cities and blue groups of people.
Yeah.
And it's not the Blue Man Group in Las Vegas, folks.
Yeah, those guys are cool.
Right. They don't burn your house down.
Yeah. So anyways, what we have going on here, let's start with who was first in here. And I noticed that the first
Howie.
No, Howie wasn't the first one in.
Who was?
Before Howie, and it shows up only on a couple, only over on my Grayman one, because he came in at 4:30 this afternoon. That was Andrew. Came in at 4:30, but he also disappeared on the others. But then Howie came in at 7:14. So, but then yeah, Dave and you made comments, and then we have CR is here. And Kaylin's here. And those are the only ones making comments so far. And
Right.
see, and yeah, we got more people than that, according to the numbers there.
We have 9.
Yeah, I showed 9 over here, and we got 7 thumbs up. So, and Dale Homestead in the colony just popped in. Hey, how you doing?
Hi, Ann. Let's see. I'm trying to adjust this.
So, yeah, tonight we're going to be talking about stuff. We're going to try to make it constructive for everybody and no fear porn. All right. We're not trying to spread fear. We're trying to spread constructive information for everybody. I heard that, Al.
Yeah, I know. It's a reverb. Did you get 7 or 8 on your likes?
I got 7 right now, but if I click it again, I bet it might go up. Yeah, it went up to 8.
Okay.
All righty. So once again, hi everybody. Welcome in here. If you haven't commented, no problem. But yeah, just if you can, share it out on social media, because this is something that a lot of American families really should know about. And Dave's in here. Yeah, Dave's back. You put Charles down. And so there's some things that are going on.
I put him down hard. I mean, it just put him to bed. I didn't put him down. Come on.
Put him down for the night.
Yeah. Zequel will do that. I mean,
All righty. So let's see. We'll get another. We've been in 5 minutes now. I guess we can. Bob's in the house now. Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move over here.
he's here.
And who's here?
Nothing. I just said hello to somebody. That's all.
All right.
Go for it.
All righty. So come on. There we go. That's working. So we're going to talk about ways. First, we're going to start off with passive ways to make your house less desirable for someone to do a home invasion or robbery. And, of course, cameras, obvious cameras, and some not so obvious cameras, and some that are totally camouflaged in lighting, which is another thing you can do. People don't like to be on camera, especially if they think that it's with all the cameras that are now hooked up to YouTube. Some of them, just don't want to do it. And so one of the things that's interesting is the higher up the cameras are where they can't get at them, but the cameras are really noticeable, the less likely they're going to do something. And if you stick them in some places they're not expecting, like in a tree, And if it's got solar power and it's in the tree, then they know, oh crap, it works. It's not just a fake one. And then you can hide them as well. Hiding a camera, sometimes they may try to smash the other ones, and it's the one that's hidden that gets them arrested. So there's all sorts of little cameras and ways to hide them and stuff and put them around. But then you also want to actually do a thoughtful plan of your property and figure out where you're going to have the cameras, how are you going to run everything. And like this one here, they got their DVR recorder here. They got a monitor here, the main monitor here. They got some spot monitors in the master bedroom, so they, up on the wall, so you can see what's going along outside. In the living room, you got one. So, and they got motion detectors, but you want to make sure wherever the cameras are aimed, that you actually cover everywhere.
Right.
Oh, can you see some bare spots here?
3.
Nope.
I see you say, I can come walking right on up here to the garage door, pop it. I can come up from over the neighbor's fence and come right on up here.
And where it says cameras?
Actually, you're getting covered by this one here, down the line here, and this one cuts over here.
Hole, yeah.
No, the line actually goes farther. It's just showing you the general thing, but it would go the visual would be all the way farther down. So, but those two are the two main ones there.
Did you say hello to Steve?
Steve!
Hey, Steve.
Corsair Traders.
Everybody make sure you watch Steve's video today. It was very good and very informative.
Yeah, it was a very good video today.
Nah, Steve's just some crazy old kook, that's all.
Well, the crazy old kook's on the bottom of the pile here.
Yep.
All right, but so you can do Google Maps to actually map out and figure out, okay, there's a tree here, so I want to make sure I get visibility around the tree, or these over here. You want to be able to figure out, using Google Maps will help you look to say, okay, this is what it's going to look like, but then you go out and make sure physically and update your little map on your paper map where things are and aren't being covered.
Right, and folks, if you see the tree, where the line goes through the tree, okay, you have to make sure you have a clear line of sight for the camera. It doesn't help in court, and when we move the camera here, we see a large bush.
Yeah. All right. Oh, Carol's here, Fishes and Lowe's Life. All right, and the next slide here. All right, now we're going to move indoors. But before I go move indoors, I want to reiterate. So we were talking about cameras, also lights. On motion sensors or on timers or however you want to do it, or multiple ways. Because if the lights start coming on when people are moving at night out and around your house, that's going to might chase off some of the opportunistic type bad guys. All right. Passive home invasion response for the interior. I think where we're going now. Ways to keep them from coming in.
And folks, before we go on to the little doohickey on the bottom, make sure you have a good door and frame.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, like this is a nice little simple one. It has an alarm, a shrill alarm on it. So when the door pushes back up against it, it wedges, and then it also starts screeching at them and wakes everybody up in the house and gives you warning on stuff.
Okay, I'm going to add something real quick before we go too much further.
Okay.
For all you folks who are not home repair minded, most of your doors and your entry doors, where the little latch is at the door, where your knob is and your deadbolt, they're held in with screws about 1.5 inches long. Pull those out, throw those in a box somewhere, and go out and buy yourself some 3-inch screws and reinforce those plates. Those plates are the weakest point in your door. So if you take those little 1.5 inch screws out, which don't hold 2 pieces of paper together, you put some 3-inch screws through there.
It'll hold a little bit. It'll hold much better.
Getting through that door that way.
And what's interesting is most of your commercial doors come pre-drilled for your deadbolt and your doorknob. Well, you can get a big strike plate that's about 12 inches tall that has the holes preset at the same size for that. And that takes about 6 screws going through it. And you can put those 3 or 4 inch screws all the way into the studs. And those things are really, really tough. Let's go back up here. This one here, how do I put it? Yeah, it'll work really good in stopping a slider door. But if you look up in the corner here, you can see that slider door is a glass door. Unless that is a reinforced glass door where it has the wire in it, or it's made out of Lexan, the 1/4 inch Lexan. So basically it's, bulletproof almost, for 22s and 9 millimeters and stuff. They're just gonna be able to pick up a chair and throw it through it if they're really intent on getting in.
Or if they're smarter, they get suction cups lifted off the track and push it in.
Yeah. Now, the same way you turn it around, it comes to a strike plate. So it mounts to the door, and this strike plate goes in the floor for regular doors and stuff. Works for that, good for doors. Or you step it up a notch, and you get the big heavy one that goes in there that you can kick on all day long, and the door's going to have to buckle before it gives way. And if it's a solid wood door, not a hollow core door like most of them are, it's going to last out a long time. And hey, Warren, and if you happen to have one of the steel skinned doors, it's going to last a little bit. It's going to last a while. But if you get one that's the steel skinned over a structured interior door, which means they don't just have the wood around the outside, you have several boards on the inside and stuff, so it gives it more strength. That's so much better. But right now, that costs money.
Right. And if anybody who's looking, before we go into this one, on a reinforced door that's steel with wood paneling on it, there's a 6 months wait. Because after my incident, I put in a steel door, but that was 80s money. And I had to wait 3 months to get it put in.
Yeah. Excuse me. I got to take a cough drop here.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. So this one here is a solid core wood door, but they've added some brackets to it. They got the knob down below, and they got the tri-pin lock up on the top there. You don't see much of those anymore.
On the whole door thing, sorry, I had to check my phone. I was going to say it a second ago. On the doors, while in the northern climates are harder to get and will definitely take longer to get, if you are going to refurbish your home or have the opportunity where you're renting and your landlord says, yes, please go ahead and update the door, I don't care, and you can afford it because it's going to be more expensive, you want to get a hurricane strength door. They're a very solid door. They're designed to withstand the strength of a hurricane. Carol can probably attest to them, especially being down there in Florida. I didn't even get a chance to say it. She already brought it up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're a lot more expensive because they're definitely better built. But that's the kind of door you want. That's what we're going to be replacing on this house with, is some hurricane doors.
And so, these guys have stepped it up, and they got the heavy duty chain here. And it looks like they got some heavy duty screws going into the jamb there.
Yeah.
And then of course there's actually there are a lot of people putting these in. It attaches to the back side of the door. It's a steel box with the 2x4s that pivot. So you see with on the one on the left, you see how the black knobs are up and the knobs go down, and the boards dropping into place into the holders there. So
I forgot on this model. How thick was the plate on it? I can't remember.
It's 1/8.
It's 1/8 or so.
Okay, because I heard there was one that was 1/4, and it was rated up to 380.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
if they shoot through a solid oak door and through that plate, it'll stop the bullet.
Yeah. But that's a door you want to install in Portland, Seattle. Oh, sorry. Anyways, yeah. So this is there are a lot more versions of this, but I just picked out the one. Now, if you're really worried, you can step it up and you can get a professional safe room, put it in the basement or in the garage. Come in different sizes and stuff. And like here, it comes in, it's bolted together. You can, if you have enough room and stuff and you want to do it, you can make a safe room behind a wall of bookshelves or through a bedroom closet. Oh,
Froze again.
yeah. I still want to make a comment on comment in the side.
Steve's remark, right?
Steve, you didn't get out of California. Oh, sorry.
Come to Ohio. We could use some better trained people over here.
Oh,
or come to Idaho. We could really use some trained people up here.
He doesn't like snow, folks.
Chicken.
Wimp. Oh, that's right. He's not. I was going to say he's in the Navy. No, he's a Marine.
Right, but
Steve, we love you. We love you, Steve.
Yeah, well, we love you, Steve. Kaylin made a point because if you do have a safe room, some apartment buildings will not do it because of insurance problems.
Yeah,
an apartment building becomes a fire hazard. You can't have 200 residents putting in safe rooms because most apartments aren't designed to have that kind of added room built into it. Well, it's not the weight, it's the room itself. You can't build a safe room in an apartment because there's no room.
All right.
Yeah. Steve said he'll drive out and do the training, but only in the summertime, not in the wintertime.
A safe room is designed to be hidden from eyes. It's a place for you to go hide so nobody knows that you're there. A true safe room will never be seen by the general public. Only you and the contractor will know, and a good contractor will destroy the blueprints in front of you and never tell anybody where it's at or what it is.
Yeah.
Also, a true safe room does have an escape route.
Right.
Yeah. And so different ones. I mean, this one here I thought was kind of cool because it has the stairs going up to the attic, and there's more books inside. So, anyways, yeah. And there are a lot of different ways of doing it for building these things. I could probably do a whole hour show just on safe rooms and the way the doors and stuff and things I found researching them on the internet, the way people do them and hide them. Some of them have the doors opening out. Some have the doors opening in.
I hate to bring this up because it really puts a tarnish on the rest of us. But in one of the episodes on Doomsday Preppers, there was a husband who took and off the master bedroom, took and built a hideaway wall with a mirror in front of it, and he dug down below the foundation of the house and put a tunnel out to a fenced-in area where they kept a secondary vehicle. So, I mean, that's a true hideaway. You can crawl into the tunnel and hide in a room there, and if it's still too bad, you can crawl out the other tunnel and get to your vehicle and split.
Right. All righty. And I think she put it most aptly. I can only explain it to you. I can't understand it for you. All right. So,
hey, Carol, there after driving through Florida and spending several months in Florida, I ain't moving. Ain't no way in God's good name that I plan on moving down to that hot, sweltering, year-round sweat box of a state they call Florida.
Right. Dave, were you in Homestead during the hurricane or not?
No, I didn't. I wasn't in Homestead, but I was in Florida.
I was in Homestead when the hurricane hit. That was a mess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
I
Now,
love Steve quote on the bottom.
now, one of the things I want to point out now before we go on any farther
Right.
is so far everything we've talked about has been passive. You know, there's nothing been, you know, it's all been putting up something to stop them from getting entry into the house or scaring them off from the outside. A lot of people, the next thing they want to talk about is aggressive home invasion response. Dun, dun, dun.
And there's a few points I want to bring up during this, so I'll try not to interrupt, but they're kind of valid points.
All right, so let me take this other one down. Come on here. There we go.
And Carol, I don't use that much heat either. Unless the temperature outside drops below 50 degrees, my heater usually don't run.
All right, so I'm going to bring up the other PowerPoint here. And the reason I paused that was because there are some good videos put out by Steve at Corsair Trainers on use of deadly force. You know, several good ones and stuff. Thinking before you act. You know, seriously, I'm not going to spend the next I'm going to spend the next 3 hours going over what Steve has already explained very succinctly and very good.
So after you're done here, get over to Steve's channel, Corsair Trainers, and go learn something.
Right. Watch all his videos.
But he has some specifically on use of deadly force. And those are the ones, you know, I highly recommend you check out, including his last four-part video series on tabletop number 4, active shooter. He really hammers it home. Think, guys, you're not going to be little machos. All right, so let's bring this up. All right, so home security, what is your plan? We're going to continue it now, going to the more active doing things besides just setting it up. All right, so we're going to talk about, you know, finding information, making a plan, exercising, evaluating, adjusting, repeating. This is known as HC, or so I get it's not there we go, or Homeland Security Exercise and Evaluation Program. It's a course that anybody can take on the FEMA Independent Studies program. It's free, and you can go through all of it and learn a lot about how to actually practice doing things that you should be doing.
Right.
Do I get a participation award if I complete it all?
Actually, if you complete it, you get a little certificate. You print off.
Yeah, it's online.
I get to fit in with the rest of the snowflakes. I'll get a participation award.
Yeah, folks, this is an online. What Gil said, it's online. You need a printer and a laptop. This does not work on a tablet or a cell phone. You have to have a laptop or desktop with a printer. And you print out. Go ahead.
Or on the printer part, if you don't have a printer, you can save the certificate at the end is a PDF. They email it to you. You can put it on a thumb drive, go down to Kinko's and print it off down there. If you really
which is UPS now.
Yeah. All right, so let's continue on here. So rights, the first thing you need to do before you do anything else is check with your local law enforcement agency about the stand your ground rules for your location, use of force rules for your location, use of deterrence, passive and aggressive deterrence for your location, and responding to attack, what you can and cannot do. What's good for Idaho is not good for California or New York or Chicago. So you got to find out what you can and cannot do. Once again, Steve hammers on this really good in his use of force videos.
Okay, so before we go into the next slide, On the right, what it's not printed on here. Make sure you have a criminal attorney. Nothing else. Criminal attorney who has experience handling these cases. Second thing you want is a bail's bondsman, and probably $10,000 in the bank just in case you get arrested for goofing up one of these rules up here.
Yeah.
All right, here.
Hang on. Let me, boom.
There we go.
Right there. You want protection? Get with a company. USCCA. When you join, you will have access to their attorneys. Their attorneys have access to bail's bondsmen. And they will cover several $1 million worth, depending on your plan, worth of costs and fees involved. Because you know what? Here's a sad realization. Let's say Gil's the homeowner, and let's say I'm the burglar. I break into Gil's house. He feels threatened by my presence, takes action, and I cease to exist. My family gets upset about it and says, hey, he didn't have to do that. Gil is going to wind up in jail for a time being until a bail bondsman can bail him out. Then he's got to fight my family for years, possibly, trying to defend himself. Even if he was in the absolute right, he had every right to do what he did. The family can still come back after him and tie him up in court. That's why you want a company that can provide you with legal services of that kind. USCCA is one of the best, hence why I am a member. After you.
And unfortunately, there are people out there who has as their backup plan when they break into a place or storm a place. If they get hurt, they're already planning to sue the homeowner, even if they trip on the rug and fall on the coffee table and hurt themselves. They're planning on suing. Unfortunately,
make it, Mom.
Yeah. And yep, makeup mom and son is in here.
Yep. I just say hello.
All right, so
true, Steve. True.
What did Steve say? You still have to know the laws. A lawyer can't do anything. Drag the body inside. Oh, don't forget to have Steve about putting the quote drop pew pew in his hand.
No, that's why going out the front door, you have roll up plastic that's there until the time you need it. That way, if something happens outside the door, you can roll the plastic up. There's no evidence outside; it's all in the house. I mean, oops! Did I give my secrets away?
Yes. Okay. Next
all right.
one.
So let's go on the next one. So you've gone through all the legal stuff. Now you're going to decide. All right, what are we going to do? Are we just going to flee out the back door? Are we going to have a safe room? Are we going to do this? Are we, figure out what you actually want to do if a home invasion happens. Now, home invasion can be multiple things. It can be, as simple as a couple guys breaking in, trying to grab a bunch of stuff and leave. It can be someone breaking in to try to grab a family member to take them and blackmail, hold for ransom for, basically a kidnapping. Or it could be like one of these, should I name a group that begins with the letter A and ends in the letter A, that is rioting and causing problems and just causing.
They don't do that. Come on now.
Destroying property and trying to kill people.
Never.
So, anyways, you have to decide for what your area, what is the escalation probability for your area, and what is most likely going to happen, or what is least likely going to happen. So plan around what you decide. Start making a written plan. I'm going to repeat this several times. A written plan of what you're going to do. In that plan, you will have activation word or phrase, so everybody knows, what they need to do when you say, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Well, I'm sorry. I'll make sure next time your wife doesn't put the cayenne pepper in your chili that way, and you won't have to go to the bathroom that much.
Yeah, Lord. Okay, but have a plan A and B. Next, Gil.
Yeah. So have plan A, a plan B, and maybe a plan C, depending on what's going on. Then we already talked a little bit about some passive deterrence. This is where anything other than passive deterrence, which is the lights, the cameras, the blockades on the door and stuff like that. Anything else you're going to need to check with your local law enforcement, like the use of pepper spray inside the house, getting a can of mace or whatever else it is, use of pew-pews. You need to make sure whatever your deterrents are, it's legal for you to use.
And licensed.
Yeah. Now, like I said, we talked about lights, security cameras, security dogs, or just a big noisy dog, or a little couple of yapping chihuahuas that'll bite their ankles 40 zillion times.
Right.
Death by 1,000 cuts.
Right. But folks, be careful on dogs. If you have a security dog, make sure the dog trains with you. And 2, dogs can be eliminated fairly easy. All you need is a stiff pipe or ball peen hammer, and there goes $1,400 worth of training a dog down the drain.
Yeah. The yes, if you get a professional dog, if you just have pet dogs that bark and everything, make a lot of noise, that's one way of deterring. If they hear 2 different dogs barking inside, they're going to think twice. It's like, whoa, okay. I don't have to worry about 1 dog. I got to worry about 2 dogs or 3. The other thing that some people have done that froze again. Yeah, that don't have dogs, they have hooked up a sound system that plays when like the lights come on a motion sensor or whatever. They have it set up so the dogs start barking in from speakers inside the house to freak people out, thinking, oh, they got dogs in there, I'm not going to break in.
Right. Steve puts up a good point. Avoid using pepper spray inside a room because it's an aerosol. It does not know the difference between your family and the bad guys. So
it likes to get everything.
Right. If you have little children, they're screaming their eyes out, rolling on the ground. You know why?
Yeah. So, some of the deterrents that you use, other than that, some states allow it, others don't. The use of actually getting a taser or a stun gun. So, fortifications, multi-layered. We talked about the doors, upgrade your windows to Lexan. You can do other things to reinforce them getting in to begin with.
Right. On the fortification,
alarm system. Okay, fortification. Go ahead, Al.
You have to be careful. If you do fortification, make sure you have a good contractor knows what it is, has to meet the fire code, because you don't want a death trap with bars or Lexan. It has to pop out easy. Second thing on fortification, because Will kind of goofed it up, no man trapping or booby traps.
Yeah.
That is not fortification. You take that to court, you'll have to use that thing from Dave. Show the little card.
No, actually, that's not a legal form in any state. That's an illegal form of deterrent in all states.
Right.
So there isn't a single lawyer on the face of this planet that will defend you except the public attorney, and he's going to look at you and say, "Kiss your booty goodbye, you done."
Yeah. Yeah. Because I had to chew out somebody. Sorry about that, Will. If you're in the chat, but it's serious. You cannot use booby traps or man traps around the world. Also, it's a Geneva Convention crime because he showed 2 traps that were, oh God. Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to move on from that. You can't use booby traps, bungee sticks or anything else like that.
No.
An alarm system can be multiple phase on the alarm system. It can be like someone tries, your window, whatever, it starts going off and it sounds locally. You can have one that you can trigger a panic button so it actually makes a call to the police, and sends it. So you can have it whether it can do one or the other or both. You can have it set up different ways.
Or you could do like last night, when my mom tried to get into the house, my phone called me. The alarm, somebody's entering your property. It was my mom.
So there's, you can have an alarm system that does multiple things because, hey, it may happen when you're not home, and they may be waiting for you when you get home. So
right. And make sure if you do alarm system, it's hooked up to a monitoring service.
Yeah.
Because they'll monitor your cameras, they'll call the police or fire department or medics, whatever, if you're not at home, and they'll get there like that. And it cost me a pretty penny too.
All right, moving on. So you've created a plan with everything you're going to do, what you're going to do, how you're going to respond. You've put in whatever type of deterrence you're going to put in, but now you have your plan of what you're going to do. Then you need to, other things to consider as well before we move on to other points. A safe room, we talked about that. Internal weapons, escape routes. Escape routes are important. If you have predetermined escape routes and those get cut off where you can't use them, you can say, hey, I planned to use this escape route. I couldn't, so you got a little bit of something else in your corner. The fatal funnel or the kill box, if you're planning, if they're really bad and you have to use a pew-pew. Understand how it goes. Do not write it down. And remember, 911, when seconds count, the police are minutes away. Okay, wait, CR, another thing is try. Oh, CR made a point here. Another thing is try not to leave gear for them to use to achieve like a ladder outside. Yeah. So there's, make sure that you're not making it easy for them to get in through a different way.
Okay, folks, on the 911 thing, if you're in a bad area of town, Gail, did you freeze or thinking?
I've just stopped because you started talking.
Okay. 911, if you're in a enclosed neighborhood, probably 5 minutes. If you live out in the outskirts in not the good neighborhoods with the apartments, 30 to 40 minutes, or like me in Stockton, the next day.
Yeah. All right. So moving on now.
Hey, Courtney.
Hey, Courtney. All right. So exercise. And I'm not talking about doing your push-ups and your jumping jacks and all that other stuff. I'm talking about practicing your plan. There's several ways to do it. You can just do a simple walkthrough where you say, all right, someone starts kicking on the front door and they're really kicking on it hard. What do? Well, we walk over here. We go to this room. We do that. You walk through it. A quick drill is, excuse me, where you just shout out the code word or the phrase for them to just take action, and say, all right, blah, 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 move, and you get them to without them having any warning, get them to try to think and do it. You can actually get some friends to do role playing and play the bad guys, charging into the house and what you're going to do to get away from them. Remember Murphy's Law, if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong at the worst possible moment.
All right, before we go to number 5, I have to bring this up. Me and Gil and Dave, we know our constructions. So know what weapon you're using, because I have a scatter gun. I have 2 kinds for each situation. I have a double barrel for the regular burglar or whoever's in my house. That's loaded with 1 barrel full of rock salt, 3 inches of rock salt and bacon grease. The other side is filled with birdshot, no wad. Reason why? Most walls of most buildings in the suburbs, if it isn't built after, Gil, I got to think, 68?
Even some of the stuff into the 70s was better built.
Right, because you could go through these paper patch thin new houses and kill the guy across the street bending over for a beer. And then you have to tell somebody, a lawyer, why did you kill your neighbor across the street?
Well, then maybe he needs to quit drinking beer.
Okay. The fifth thing you can do with your exercises, you can actually contact your local law enforcement. That's what LEOs is, law enforcement officer, and see your beat cop or deputy or whatever, and see if they'd be willing to come out and observe your plan, and if they could give you some feedback to improve upon it.
Right. I think
Now, on this, there are companies dedicated to training people, and they use what is called simunitions. Okay, it's not going to hurt. Well, it's going to hurt, but it ain't going to kill you.
right.
Right.
I'm sure Steve could probably elaborate. Words are difficult this evening. Elaborate more on it than I will at this point. Maybe he can do a video on it.
Yeah,
But
I think-
simunitions is an excellent training. It's force on force training without lethality. And it is the best way to teach you muscle memory. It can show you where your weak points are. There's companies all over the US that do it. If you can afford it, I highly recommend it. That's where I've gotten some of my training. And I'll tell you right now, when you think you're a Barney bad butt and you suddenly start getting peppered with simunitions, you rethink your entire strategy on how to structure your plans.
Right.
The first time you get hit with a simunition, you will stop dead in your tracks and go, I screwed up.
Right.
Exactly. As Steve says here, they teach you real fast what doesn't work.
Mhm.
Right. And Steve has, I can't remember, Steve, do you still teach classes on this stuff?
Yes, he does.
Okay, good.
You
So
never-
if you live in the Los Angeles area, go bother Steve and take a class and pay him good money. He needs
Yeah.
it.
All righty. So after you do your drill comes the evaluation. So we've had exercise and now evaluation. It's also called an after action report.
Froze.
You review with everybody what happened, what went right, what went wrong, what actions need improvement, and what just plain old in the written plan, what looked good on paper doesn't work in real life. Get suggestions from every member of the family and anybody else that helps you out in it. Friends or neighbors that help you out doing your drill. Get suggestions, because somebody could point out something that could be like why didn't I think of that before? That's an excellent idea. Hey, Skinner Farms. And so once you go through, you write up your after action report, and then you move on to adjusting the plan in writing again. Writing.
I don't write very well. My hands hurt too much.
Well,
Type it on the computer.
Right. But
No, I'm
always
just gonna-
have it
I'll
in
just hire
writing.
me a secretary.
Yeah, right.
All right. So taking the notes from your after action report, highlight in the original plan what worked, line out what just plain old didn't work, highlight what needs to be improved upon, review suggestions, and then add the workable suggestions to the plan. And remember, you have a plan A, B, C, and D. Work your plans out, get everything done again. Then, guess what? Repeat. Do an exercise with the new plan. Do walkthroughs, do quick drills, role playing. Again, if you get the law enforcement guys, if they were there the first time and they gave you some good suggestions, have them there so they can look and see how their suggestions played out, and exercise your backup plans. Then guess what you get to do? Another after action report. Same thing. Review what happened, what went right, what went wrong, actions needed to improve, go through the whole thing again and adjust the plan again. This is part of what I did when I worked for Homeland Security as the emergency management coordinator. I wrote the plans, I tested the plans, I had the groups test the plans, figured out what went wrong, rewrote the plans, did it again, did it again, did it again. We tested some plans 3 times a year. So until we got it right and everybody was doing things right. All right. Remember, once again, Murphy's Law, if something can go wrong, it will go wrong, and do so at the worst moment. And I like Murphy's Law Part 2. If you are prepared for something, it most likely won't happen.
Right.
That makes you feel like you wasted your time, but hey, you didn't waste your time. You put Murphy's Law Part 2 in action.
Right. On part 2, if you're using anything mechanical in self-defense, one or the other things will fail. So make sure you have a backup.
Yeah.
Because I've seen people in the military rack a shotgun and it's jammed. And I'm like, okay, what's your secondary weapon? And they're looking at me. We didn't got issued by a secondary weapon. Well, you're considered dead now.
Yeah. Yeah. Steve knows what he's poking fun when he says it's so much fun. But hey, that's what my job was. That's what I got paid to do, was write plans. Hey, Ginger Ninja.
Right, Ginger Ninja.
So
Gosh, you guys are slow. I said that like 5 minutes ago.
sorry,
Yeah.
I just saw her there. You know, and she just said hi to me. And she
So
put a
that's
cowboy
what it
hat.
takes- that's what it takes to get your attention. You got to, all right, you heard it here, folks. In order to get his attention, you have to say hi to him before he will finally acknowledge you.
And put the smiley face with the cowboy hat after my name.
Yeah. See, but now you know how to get his attention.
Oh, Lord.
All right. So hopefully everything we went over here, you'll find some small nugget you'll be able to use to make your situation better, safer, give you an idea of what to do in case for unforeseen, godforsaken reason, you know, something happens to you at your house, you'll be ready to get out of there, come out of it unscathed, hopefully, and be all right. I think
I'm going to add something real quick because they're all talking about something.
Yeah.
We've brought it up numerous times in the past about air rifles and stuff like that. But let me see if I can find it real quick. We only got a few minutes left.
well, we got 11 minutes.
Yeah, go for it, Dave.
Oh, I got to see if I can pull it up first.
Okay,
Oh, wait.
and folks, if you're not trained in use of hand-to-hand combat, don't think your catch-all is a baseball bat and a Daisy air rifle. They will take it away from you and shove it where the, well, I won't say it because we have ladies in the audience. So understand what you're using. Okay?
Yeah, be practiced with it.
Right.
And
All right, I'm gonna
you want
share
to
it.
develop muscle memory in what you want to do.
As soon as I find the right tab.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
All right, folks. This looks pretty darn intimidating. Guess what? It's CO2 powered. You know what else this takes? 50 cal paintballs. They
Ow.
hurt like the dickens. Guess what
Especially-
else? Guess what else it takes? Now I have to stand up and get it. If I can find it real quick.
While he's walking away, you can freeze them too. Ever got hit with a frozen paintball?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I put 'em
Once
right
you freeze the paintball, then it becomes something else. But
Right.
piece of
If
frozen
you freeze
ice.
it before you use it, you've actually created premeditated action.
Right.
You don't want to do that. But they also make pepper ball rounds that are the same size. So for a less than lethal, because that's what's being talked about over here in the side chat, for a less than lethal option, this is CO2 powered. I will be picking me up one of these for here because I happen to like it. It's nice. It's got some heft to it. And it's something I can actually teach Charles with too, because you know, a paintball shows him exactly where he hit. So this serves a dual purpose. With the pepper balls in one of these cylinders, I can have it laying next to the bed. Somebody comes up to the steps. They're not going to be breathing very well, which gives me a chance to subdue them in whatever manner is necessary. Whoops, they fell down the stairs after they sucked on tear gas. I'm sorry, officer. I will try my hardest next time to make sure they don't fall down the stairs. See my point?
Okay.
It gives you
Yeah.
it gives you an option to react to the situation rather than try to run and hide.
Dave, I don't
See.
know if you noticed what when you were looking that up. I'm going to swap yours out for mine. So there it is there. Same thing. 100 pieces, 50 caliber steel balls.
I do not
Remember,
recommend using
okay.
those. That is slingshot rounds. Do not repeat. Do not try using those in a CO2 powered pistol or rifle.
Yeah, I can just see someone trying
some
that.
PCPs, pre-charged pneumatics, can use those, but that is mainly slingshot ammunition. Do not.
Right.
You will cause that, like one I showed you,
Boom.
you will cause it to blow up in your face. And
Yeah.
shrapnel, I don't care where the shrapnel is coming from. Shrapnel is a bad thing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, here's your paintball gun ammo
Mhm.
for it, and then this. Oh,
Yeah, I want one of those too.
yeah, rubber balls. 68
That's
caliber.
also right. That's also CO2 powered.
Yep.
It's double barreled. It's so much fun.
Right. And also it shoots bags too, doesn't it?
No.
It doesn't shoot the
That only
bean
shoots
bags?
No.
that does not shoot beanbags. That is the CO2 power. It
Hmm.
doesn't have enough compression to push a beanbag through it.
Yeah.
Right.
Now,
I used
Those
to
rubber
have
balls
are
will
your-
hurt.
Here are your rubber balls that are the 50 caliber for it. 26 bucks for 100 of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can practice a little bit and watch them bounce all over the house and everything else.
Right. I'm dating myself. I used to have a Prowler Fowler. Anybody who remembers those were the rubber bean bags powered by 4 CO2 gaskets. And if you ever watch the old show with
Steve is speaking from experience.
yes, Steve knows what I'm talking about. Prowler Fowler. Boom.
Oh. All righty. So, I froze again. So there are options to look at to help make your home more safe. From what I showed in the first PowerPoint with the door jamb locks and the foot things at the foot of them and stuff. Other ways to reinforce make your door able to stop people from coming in. There's the lighting, the cameras out in the open where they can see, oh, I'm on camera, I don't want to come here. There are a lot of passive ways to protect your property, and we've talked on a few, gotten into a few more aggressive ways of protecting your property and yourself. Final word on this, if you do anything that's not passive, check with your local law enforcement agency to make sure you're not violating the local ordinances. All righty. So coming up this week, Courtney, you're still in here. Courtney has a live stream tomorrow night at 7:30 Mountain, so it's 9:30 Eastern time. I'm not sure who she's interviewing tomorrow. Then Friday, Dave, you're doing news wrap, the weekly news wrap up for the end of the week on Friday, 9:00 Eastern time. Following that, I'll be doing Friday night on the homestead, and we'll be covering gardening for beginners on a budget. This one's for you, Steve. And this is one for all of us. I mean, I've been researching and finding stuff that I didn't know that I could be doing on a budget. So we're talking about gardening for beginners on a budget. Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday,
I
will be doing a Tech Tuesday type thing. We're going to discuss tech and how it helps you now as a person of prepper. And if you decide you want to get into doing YouTube or StreamYards or whatever, help you understand the technology you need to do a better job of it. So your stuff looks all nice and pretty, unlike mine.
And is Makeup Mom still here? If she is, you definitely want to
be busy, but listening.
Yeah. Okay. You definitely want to next Tuesday go to Southern Ohio Preppings at 9 o'clock Eastern for his tech class on Tuesday. After that is for Tactical Tuesday, we'll be here talking about major mistakes that new preppers make. All right. Not minor mistakes. We're going to talk about some of the major mistakes that new preppers make and some so-called old preppers meow and throwing away 5 years worth of food because he did it wrong.
Or 5 years of toilet paper that was now Mouse Hotel.
Exactly. So we're going to talk about things, mistakes, major mistakes that new preppers make, and even some old preppers. All righty. And double checking on the side chat here. Okay, good. Talking about checking out the laws. Good, good.
Skinner,
Using a
it'll
sword.
be on Southern Ohio. It'll be on Southern Ohio Prepping next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, Southern Ohio Prepping. Oh,
just gotta love how you I just love how you Westerners say Ohio. You say Ohio.
Ohio. Well, actually, see, that's part of my German ancestry. My grandmother, all the Schwartzes used to say "wash," go wash your hands. So, hey, it's some of the ingrained accent I grew up with. And Al, did you see what Carol asked you?
Yes. Why old? Because I am old. I dye my hair. If I didn't, it'd be Snow White.
All righty. So I think we're wrapping it up here. Any last words, guys?
Like I said, go check out Steve's channel. All right.
Only if you want to learn something. I mean, if you don't want to learn anything, then don't go there.
Right.
If you go there, take a notebook, a pad of paper, and start writing things down and learn something.
Right. And then check out Dave's card. I can't say all the letters, Dave. Sorry. You know what we're talking about, the insurance group?
USCCA.
All right, just a second. I'm going to throw something up here if someone doesn't beat me to it. All right, where is it here? See.
Well, I can't because I don't know what you're looking for.
Air trainers.
Oh, Carol, that's just a movie stunt. In real life, you'd be dead before you even pull out one of the swords in the back. That's just movie baloney.
All right, so here
Carol, unless you have extensive training wielding a sword, if you buy one, it's just for looks. I have training with a katana. I'm not going to try and grab a broadsword and try and use it. It's a totally different animal.
All right, and there is Steve's link for his channel. Seriously, if you have any questions about the use of deadly force, go check out Steve's channel. Also check out his latest tabletop exercise. He's done 4 parts of it. Active shooter. It's very good. And as the one he used to do the active shooter training for Homeland Security, I give it 2 thumbs up. All right. And with that, night, Bob.
No, read Bob's comment.
Oh, yeah. I just threw, right. Not night. Right. Yeah. Frozen poo. So.
Hey, you don't want it on yourself now.
Yeah. So with that, everyone,